Welcome to this week's episode of Emerge. I'm your host, Tiffany Boyle, and this week we will be discussing with Dorothea how to make a divine decision and hear Deshana's 2 cents about finances. We are so excited to speak with our special guest today, Shountee Turner, CEO of The Right Narrative, which provides professional writing services for nonprofits, small businesses, and organizations. Following Shountee, we will be speaking with 2 bright young men who took their talents and started mentoring our youth with RPEO, Real People Educating Others. So stay tuned to hear more about from Renaldo, Randall, and PJ Piggott. So we have a full show ahead of us with tons of information and entertainment. Next, join me, Tiffany Boyle, in the CEO Corner. Come on with me. Welcome to the CEO Corner, the only place where you will get tips on how to live your best CEO life and emerge to the next level. Today, I want to talk about the importance of business networking. We all network, we all go to these networking events, and you can't really have a show about business and not talk about business networking. But what actually is networking? Do we really know? Do we know why we go? Do we know what we're supposed to get out of it? How we're supposed to network? Because believe me, people, as I've been doing this for a few years, there is an art to this business networking thing. So, like I've said before, I'm like a super logical person, so I always start with the definition. Networking is establishing a mutually beneficial relationship with other business people and potentially clients or customers. Okay, so that was a lot in that definition, so let's break that down. Keywords: mutually beneficial. Mutual, meaning a respectful experience between 2 or more people. Beneficial is resulting in something good. Relationship is a state of being connected. And the business portion of it means you are connecting with people that can help your business with resources by being clients or just providing help for you, kind of like this show. So we put all that together and we really know what business networking means. It's a respectful experience between 2 or more people that result in something good, where we are being connected with individuals that can grow or provide resources for me and my business. So this is also most helpful to small business owners and to reap the rewards of business networking, because you just don't want to go and not get anything from it. Otherwise, it's like a waste of your time. And you also don't want to get burned out from going to so many business networking events. It is important to understand what business networking is and why you are going to network. Is it to meet new people? Is it to boost sales? Is it to increase efficiency? Is it to build awareness for your brand? CEOs, know your why before you step into the building, and then you will leave the building reaping what you sow. And I'm Tiffany Boyle, and that's my tip from the CEO Corner. Coming up, we will be speaking with the person who aids nonprofits in gaining more capital through grant writing. Shountee Turner is a nonprofit hero. She is the owner of The Right Narrative, and that's right, WRITE, a professional writing services for nonprofits, small business, and organizations. Hi, Shountee. Thank you so much for being on the show. We are so excited to learn all about The Right Narrative, your life, and how you do it all, and how you have created this wonderful business that gives back to so many. So can we just start with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and excited about what you all do. In terms of myself, so The Right Narrative is we do business writing services mostly grant writing for nonprofits, but we also help for-profits. And we also do some content work, speech writing, any type of writing services that people need. And writing is my passion. So that's how, it's a long story how that all came about. But I wanted to use what I love to do to kind of be able to indirectly help the community. So I write the content and the narrative with my team to kind of help people convey the passion behind what they do.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. So let's dive into the long story. What we have a little bit of time. So we're going to make it a medium story. So what exactly was the thing that made you go from like the nonprofit sector to your own business?
Well, a number of things. One was, I worked in corporate for a long time. I didn't, it was a great experience because it kind of gave me the tools that I, use today. I worked as an analyst for a nuclear company, and there was a lot of writing and editing involved. And so from there, I wanted to do something. I wanted to work in the nonprofit world. And so I moved on to nonprofits, and I met a person who was a philanthropist. And I actually worked really closely with him, and I saw the work that he was able to do in giving. And through that relationship, I was able to meet the actual people on the ground doing the work. Another thing is, I was a single parent, and working a 9 to 5, it was always a struggle, trying to explain, somebody's sick, or I got to go to, this game, or I wanted to make sure also that I had the flexibility to kind of be the type of parent that I wanted to be, to really be present in my children's lives, because that time is so short and goes by so fast. And so, it was kind of like a win-win situation. It was scary at first because you also have to kind of take a chance, because, when you're used to kind of working in a situation where, okay, every 2 weeks this is coming, you have your retirement, you have all of these things planned out and ready to go. It's like you're kind of taking this big chance, but at the same time, if it's your passion, I really believe that, we're sitting here for a purpose. And if that's your purpose and your passion, you have to do the work, of course, but you're going to be successful in it. And I've never been happier, or I've never felt more fulfilled in my life until I started doing this.
Very nice. Very nice. Just going back to you talking about being, the type of mom you want to be, and how it's hard, if you do have a 9 to 5. This week alone, for example, I've had to pick up my daughter every day from school because 2 days she wasn't feeling well. Another day she had a test and I had to pick her. And I was like, if I had a regular 9 to 5, or with a boss that didn't understand, the struggle of, we have to go pick up our kids, it would have been so difficult. I mean, it was difficult alone, just, having to drive all the way out there every time with my schedule. But, it's a hard balance. So I'm happy you were able to jump from, the 9 to 5 to your own business. A lot of people, aren't able to do that. So it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing. So I do know you're also a blessing to a lot of nonprofits, because grant writing is hard to come by, and good grant writers that aren't, don't cost like a tremendous amount, or, actually have like a good win ratio, I would say. So how is that working with the nonprofits?
Well, I would say that that's part of the joy and the happiness, is because, everything that I do and everybody that I work with is working for some cause. A lot of people are working to help the youth. I work with people that are helping the homeless. I work with people that are I work with churches that are doing things in their community, people that are working for homeless women, women and children that have been in abusive situations. And so, it's amazing. And I think it's important to also talk about the preparation that it takes working as a nonprofit leader and getting to the point where you're actually ready for grants. Because, sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, we're looking for a grant writer, but it's important that people know, when you're asking for a grant, you're really someone's trusting you with funds, with a large amount of money. And so you have to show that you have a history of being a good steward of your finances for your nonprofit. So it's really important. I try to talk through that process and make sure people have everything in order first. And, that part is exciting too, because I also get to learn. I learn a lot from each person that I'm working with. There's different rules depending on the state you're in, sometimes the city, sometimes internationally. And so, it's just a great opportunity to learn, to help others, and to just understand the whole process that goes with being a nonprofit.
Awesome. So if you are just tuning in, we are Emerge. You are listening to your host, Shountee Kemp Garnett, along with co-host Tiffany Boyle. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with Ms. Shountee Turner from The Right Narrative, where she provides professional writing services for nonprofits, small businesses, and organizations. So I want to touch on something you said as far as writing being your passion. And I know sometimes the entrepreneurs we deal with, they have a passion for something, but they don't really understand how to make a business from that or how to connect that passion to a purpose. So can you kind of just talk to us about what that process looked like for you?
Okay, sure. So for me, it was a plan. I had to make a plan. So it's a balance between making a plan, but also kind of jumping in it. So you have to be kind of fearless in a sense. And, but you also really have to put in the work. So you have to do your research. You have to see what are the requirements for your state where you're going to start your business. You have to make sure you have all your documents in order. There are certain fees associated with, starting your business. And then you have to make a plan on how you're going to run. One thing that's really important, I would say, is to have someone you can talk to that has a business and that you can go to for advice, because they have probably learned things the hard way and have made mistakes. And so from their mistakes, you can probably avoid some of the pitfalls that you run into when you're starting a business. It's important that you have your taxes in order. That's really important, because if you don't, they're going to come for you. You're going to owe a large amount. And I learned that the hard way the first year I was in business. Thankfully, I started later in the year, so it wasn't a huge amount, but there's just certain processes that are really important. So, every state has a small business resource. You go in there and check out everything that you need, and just make sure you stay on top of that. The other thing is, it's really important to put some systems in place before you get started, because it's difficult to try to do everything manually. And there's a lot of great programs out there for small business owners to help you kind of organize and put some systems and documents in place, and make sure when you create contracts for the employee, for the people that you work with, that is in order, that you stipulate. Think about all of the things that you might consider within the contract regarding your payment, regarding your what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the rules of engagement. I'll put it that way. So yeah.
I think you said something amazing there about, a business mentor. A lot of people, most people, that we know, they start out as a 9-to-5, they have a career, and then they might go on to a different business venture. And I think sometimes people forget that, hey, some of the things you actually learn on your career, you can easily apply those things to your business. Like when you're in corporate, it's so important to say, hey, have a mentor. But I would say it's even more critical when you're stepping out on your own to do a business, of having a business mentor. So I think it's great that you touched on that. Can you kind of talk to us about some of the companies you've helped and the impact that's had on, with the services you provided?
Sure. So I'm actually on the board of an organization called the Live Love Pink Foundation. And that's an organization out of Hampton. They serve Hampton Roads, and they provide art kits and art experiences for young people as a form of coping with, the challenges that you face today, the many things that they are encountering, that they're constantly bombarded with in the media. So that organization holds a special place in my heart because I'm a part of the board, so I really see, how it works from the ground up, and how much a lot of youth have been able to benefit from it and really, really, truly express themselves and what they're going through art. Let me think of some other ones. RPEO, Real People Educating Others. I've worked with them, and they have some amazing activities and services and programs for the youth as well. And two men, Black men, that, I really like seeing that as well, because, we're lacking those mentors in our community. And so it's great to see them serving in that capacity. I'm sorry, my brain is blank right now.
But always happens when you're put on the spot.
I know. Let me think. Okay, so another organization I work with, and this organization is actually in Maryland. Those were two that are in Virginia. And then in Maryland, there's an organization called Friendly Loving Opportunities. And that organization, they serve the homeless. So they go out and they do actually go to where the homeless live, because there's a large homeless population in the city, as is in most major cities. And they just provide food, clothing items, socks, gloves. They provided PPE during COVID, or during the surge of COVID. And so those are just a few. There's another organization that I work with called M&M Angels in New York. And that organization is really cool because it was started by a young girl that is only 9 years old.
Wow.
And and it's really, really awesome. Her name is Morgan Grace, and with her mom, they provide services for women and children, especially those that have been in abusive situations. And so it's really fun working with them as well.
That is awesome. Well, you are tuned into Emerge. I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with co-host Deshana Kemp Garnett, and we are talking with Shountee, owner of The Right Narrative, a grant writing service. And she writes grants for RPEO, which actually, if you stay tuned to the show, will be up next. So we get to dive into what they're doing and all the great things they're doing for the Hampton Roads area. So Shountee, can you please let people know how they can get in contact with you, follow you, reach out to you if they desire some services, or just to ask some questions?
Oh, sure. So you can reach me. So my website is The Right Narrative, www.therightnarrative.com. And so you can check out my website.
You have to say how to spell right.
Oh, right. It's important. Sorry, because that's that word, right. Okay, so it's www.write, as in writing a letter, narrative.com. And so you can follow me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Just look up The Right Narrative on those, and also on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter.
Great. So please get in contact with her. And again, I'm sure you're going to get tons of hits because everybody is looking for a grant writer, and especially a great grant writer. So you pick the right business, or I guess the business picked you. And with that, we're going to end with our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you?
Okay, so when I think of emerge, I think of, I don't know why, I got this vision of water and somebody just coming out of water. But that's a good thing, because to me, water represents peace. And it also, in terms of rain, new beginnings and being cleansed. And so when I think of emerge, I think of people stepping forward into their greatness and emerging, coming out of their shell, coming out where they've been, to kind of embrace the future and what that holds for them. So I love that name. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Now, the person coming out of the water, do you want to describe what type of person it was? Did they do the hair flip?
It was all of that. It was hair flip, coming out looking amazing, like you're not even wet.
Which I have tried to do and it doesn't work. So
that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and really sharing what you do and how you got there, and really being a true inspiration to the nonprofits and helping them, get going.
Thank you for having me so much. I appreciate it
so much.
Thank you. And you all keep doing what you're doing, because it's very cool of you to kind of, showcase people like me and other entrepreneurs. So thank you. Appreciate that.
You have a mission, it's no collision. Hold the phone, don't text, you're angling to be next. Brothers and sisters, you won't see it coming. You're off the road, your life explodes. It's not worth it, don't do it. You only think there's nothing to it. Put it down, hang up, pay attention to highway action. Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. Join the conversation at decidetodrive.org, a public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Welcome to today's lottery drawing. And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering it. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Gina Pemberton, president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Our time is now. This is our moment to define what being a Hamptonian really means. At a time when the relevancy and impact of HBCUs is without question, it's absolutely critical that we all engage, work together, and give back to our home by the sea. Engaging as an alumnus means to join your local alumni chapter, mentor a current student, and donate regularly. Join your local alumni chapter now, logging on to NHAAINC.org. Keep Hampton's legacy strong for generations to come. Keeping you informed, we are Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
If there was ever a time to live united, it is now. Now is the time to speak with one voice, to build up, not tear down. It's time to join hands and live united against the problems that keep our communities from thriving. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you? Volunteer or donate now at unitedway.org.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take a deep breath in and let go of the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk. Or when you hit that piñata into your neighbor's yard. Let it go.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. I'm Dorothea, and you're listening to Emerge on WHOV 88.1. If you're just tuning in, Deshana and Tiffany just spoke with Shountee Turner, founder and CEO of The Right Narrative, LLC. And what a wealth of knowledge and information she shared with us. As Deshana would say, she dropped some jewels on us, all about the grant writing process, which can be a very complex process to understand without the proper assistance. Very invaluable information. You can go back and listen to the interview as well as previous shows at www.emergethemagazine.com. So it's about that time for you to join me as we emerge into our greatest potential by making a divine decision with Dorothea. My reality, your reality, is that we all operate throughout our life based on a series of decisions. A decision is defined as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And divine
means excellence. So we're talking about making an excellent decision. So with that being said, and keeping those principles in mind, let's make the divine decision today to possess peace. Peace is defined as tranquility, mental calm, serenity, freedom from disturbance. The declaration of and desire for peace has been a hope longed for and desperately sought after throughout history. As a child, I remember the slogan, "Peace in the Middle East." It didn't take long for it to become popular and stamped in our minds. I mean, it was a national slogan, a national campaign. You heard it on the news. We even used it as kids, jokingly most times, but we did. My point in saying all of this is deep down, I remember it being what we all wanted, and that's still true today. The desire for, or at least to have, some form of peace. Now, what is true peace, and how can we possess that? Speaking from experience, I've discovered that peace must first begin within oneself. When we consider and dwell on thoughts comprised of regret, unforgiveness, and discontentment, we have to stop and identify that these thoughts are in complete contradiction to a peaceful state of mind. A double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and as a man thinketh, so is he. So it is imperative that we condition our minds to dwell on and operate in peace, one that passes all understanding. People don't usually consider an approach to having peace with themselves, but we usually determine that responsibility or expectation of peace is dependent upon our circumstances, what we're going through at the time, or even on other people and how they treat us. We must decide to strategically set our own minds to produce peace by establishing a positive thought pattern, no matter what. Let's choose to be kept in perfect peace as an end result of our minds being that strategically set. The possession of peace within can only help to produce an outer peace towards others, which in turn will produce actions of peace as well. So today, I challenge you to join me and emerge into your best life and make the decision to possess peace, knowing this decision will ultimately help to shape and create a path that reflects a light of excellence in our lives. And this, my friends, has been another divine decision with Dorothea. And to all our listeners out there, you can decide to be a part of our Emerge Wednesdays broadcast and submit your own response to our signature question, what does the word emerge mean to you? Share that with us on our IG at Emerge the Magazine. This week's response is from Dr. Willard Maxwell. The word emerge means coming out of the shadows and rising to the top. Wow. Out of the shadows and rising to the top. We love that mental picture. Thank you so much, Dr. Maxwell. And you can follow him on IG as well at Willard, WILLARD .Maxwell, MAXWELL. I'm Dorothea Schuler. You're listening to Emerge on WHOV 88.1. And coming up next, Tiffany and Deshana will be speaking with Purcell PJ Piggott and Renaldo Randall, the co-founders of Real People Educating Others, RPEO, a 501c nonprofit organization.
Hi, PJ and Renaldo. I'm so excited to have you guys on the show representing RPEO. And I am going to give you guys the honors to tell everybody a little bit about yourselves and also tell everybody what RPEO stands for.
Right. So my name is Renaldo Randall, and I'll start first and I'll let PJ clean up what I might mess up. But I am 1/3 of Real People Educating Others. This organization is a nonprofit organization that's been in existence for over a decade. We work with at-risk, socioeconomically challenged, disadvantaged youth, their families, and returning citizens. Our organization has 4 pillars. It's education, extracurricular, community work, and of course, mentorship. And so we have some flagship programs I'm going to let PJ talk to you all about. And he can also talk to you a little bit about how we got started. And so a couple of tidbits about me just personally. I work in higher education. I work in the business community widely here in the Hampton Roads area, teaching business, the chair of the Black Chamber of Commerce. Have a couple consultancy business where I work with people on their business and their strategy and their ideation. And so that's me, and that's RPEO. And PJ, I'm going to pass the mic to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. My name is PJ Piggott, and just to piggyback on what Renaldo said on the RPEO and the 4 pillars that we have 4 annual events that we host every year. Those 4 events are, the first one is the free football camp that we do every year in July. Actually, this year is coming up July 14th and 15th, and it's for ages 8 to 13. And we partner up with James City County Parks and Recreation here in Williamsburg, but the camp is open up and free to anyone that's in the Hampton Roads area or even just Tidewater. So if you're around and you're free to come, you definitely can sign your kid up. Also, our biggest event that we do is the back to school event. We already have the date for that, which is August the 27th at Lafayette High School. That is the location we use. And every year the last maybe 5 years, we've been serving over 1,000 kids with free book bags, school supplies. And again, everything is free, from free haircuts to face painting to Idea Kid. We have the police department bringing out the monster truck, all kinds of things, free games, food, fun, a lot of activities for the community and really just bringing people together. And then from there, we do the Thanksgiving event where every Thanksgiving morning, we actually get up, and we actually been serving on the Richmond Road area in Williamsburg over 500 meals. And we do to the less fortunate. We go to a lot of the hotel, motels. And then for Christmas, we do we actually do adopt a family program where we actually adopt families and try to support the kid the best way possible. So those are our 4 pillar events that we do with the nonprofit organization. And myself in the mental health field as well. And also, like Renaldo said, have a lot of business investments and things that we also do. I'm also a part of the NAACP as well. So we have a lot of things that we both embark. So just to sum it up a little bit.
So PJ, I actually live in Williamsburg, and if I can recall, I don't know if it was earlier this year or towards the end of last year, you were on a magazine up here, right?
Yes.
Can you speak to us about that? Like, I don't forget names and faces. And I'm like, Tiffany, isn't this one of your friends that's up here?
Famous.
Well, yeah, this year I was blessed and honored to represent RPEO in our next door neighborhood magazine, which is a magazine that's in the Williamsburg location. I just realized and got the information that magazine goes out to like 40,000 plus people, residents in the Williamsburg community. So I was like, wow, so that was big because they called me and said that they wanted to interview me and have me featured in the magazine. But then I didn't know that I was going to be also featured on the front page. So that actually caught a lot of people's attention because a lot of people normally get the magazine. And if I wasn't on the front, they probably wouldn't know to open the magazine and see the article that we had. So by me being featured on it, it was a huge success and eye opener for people that didn't know about RPEO, didn't know about the organization. So it was real big because I was getting calls from, middle school teachers that I had, middle school principals, elementary principals, everybody that still lives in the Williamsburg area was reaching out through email, calls, text messages, social media. So it was a big deal. And there was a lot of partnerships that came out that as well. And people wanted to support those events that I just mentioned. It was like, oh, I didn't know this was going on. I heard something about it. Or I heard some of y'all doing with the back to school event or I heard about the football camp, but I didn't really know. So the article and stuff was really set in stone and was good for the community and for people to really know if they didn't know. It's like now they know about Real People Educating Others.
Congratulations. So now you like walk around with like sunglasses and a cap on because everybody's asking for your autograph.
Hey, look, I can be like you, Tim, because you got the glasses and stuff now. Like, you doing it big.
I was thinking the same thing. She knows you need the pointers, those PR pointers. She know how to help you out. Hey, P, you forgot to tell them about the mentorship.
Yes, tell us.
Oh, yes, the mentorship. So last year, I know myself and Renaldo, when we actually first came about the mentorship, because we all know and we see is a huge need in the communities and the schools. Everywhere we go, people ask about mentorship. It's not like back in the days with the big boys and girls, big brother, big sisters. We don't have a lot of that stuff no more. So a lot of people have been asking. And then, of course, because of COVID, we couldn't really just do anything, like present, like, physically being like at a place in a building. So we was like, you know what, let's do something. Everybody's doing Zoom. Let's go ahead and do something and we kind of like it because we feel that we don't have to lock it down to being just a Virginia thing or Williamsburg. It could be people from all over participating in this. So we have people from North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Cleveland, all over jumping in on this virtual mentorship program. And we did it like a year ago and it was a huge success. So I recently had a meeting like that in the last year with New Kent High School, and they was saying that they was very interested in the mentorship program. So we was like, so I called Renaldo and said, look, just had a meeting. They said they in need of this mentorship program. So you know what? Let's roll it out. And not only for them to share with their parents and stuff in the New Kent County area, but we can open it up for everybody again. So then we made the decision where we can just do it again for 5 weeks. And we actually do it every quarter now. So instead of like being once in the blue, we now do it every 3 months. So, okay, we let 3 months go by, we do it, bring it again, almost the same system, but change up the speakers, things of that nature. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and we got Tiffany name for the next one that we're going to do the train. So we just kind of just I just threw that out there, but we got the topics and stuff that we kind of want, that we feel that's relatable and something that the kids need. We get a lot of feedback from a lot of the educators and even the students and stuff and the parents. So we come up with these topics and then we find the experts on these different topics that we feel can go and do a great presentation, that can deliver a good message and something that the kids interacting, and it's something that we like. So like we had a great turnout this last one we did. And I know, but in another month or two, we'll be getting ready to plan for our new 5-week mentorship program. So it's been real good. And our goal is now we need to get it into the schools more. We've been reaching out to a lot of the superintendents, a lot of principals. But it's like pushing it and getting them to back it. So that way we can get more people. We want to jump on a Zoom and have hundreds of people like on it, hundreds of kids, showing their face, interacting. And we know it's going to take time. It's a new process. But once we get like the teachers and stuff to get on board with it, also, I was talking to some teachers and I was like, we get y'all on board. Y'all can use this as an extracurriculum activity where if it's a kid struggling in the classroom, you can now tell this kid if he signed up, or the parent, if they sign up for this 5-week virtual mentorship program every Monday or whatever, 8:00, they jump on and the teacher know the topic. And then the kid come to school and say, look, let me give you some questions on what you learned or whatever from the virtual last night. And then if they know the answers, they know the kid was in line and was actually on it, participating. Right. And then they can maybe help them out with a kid that may possibly be failing or anything like that. So we just looking at it and then it almost kind of draw the kid in by default. So like I say, so we excited about that. It's still some things that we are, trying to get the little kinks out, different things, and trying to see how we can just do the marketing, promoting it, and really just get people to jump on it. Because people stream for help, but then when you actually come up with a decision or a system or something, people don't really just participate and join. It was like, okay, you've been asking for this, and now you don't have no kid, or you're not even telling nobody about it. Like, come on, Right. And it, again, like we say, with our back to school event, football camp, the virtual mentor, we tell everybody it's not a Williamsburg thing. It's open to everybody because people will look at stuff and see flyers like, oh, that's just a Williamsburg thing. I can't go. No, you can go. If you're free, come to the back to school event August 27th. If you're free and your kids between age and 8 to 13, sign them up for football camp, they can come. It's just located in Williamsburg.
Love it, love it, love it. We are here talking with PJ and Renaldo of RPEO, Real People Educating Others. I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with my co-host, Deshana Kemp Garnett, and you are tuned in to Emerge on WHOV 88.1. Oh, goodness, I'm giving the wrong thing. And if you would like to partner with us, get your business spotlighted, please reach out to us via our website, emergethemagazine.com. We'd love to have you and spotlight your business and let our audience know all about you. So, PJ and Renaldo, question. You guys cater to tons of children around the Hampton Roads, but like you said, you're based in Williamsburg and you focus on Williamsburg and James City County. Now, most people in the Hampton Roads area would think, why do those kids need mentoring, right? So if you could please tell us like the statistics of your kids, the demographics of your kids, and why you guys do stuff up in that region.
That's a good question, Tiffany. So because people ask that question because it's Williamsburg, right? Busch Gardens, Colonial Williamsburg, people don't really think about poverty and violence and disparities. And so because we grew up there, so me and PJ, neither of us live there anymore. But that's where we go back and serve, right? So that's where we have the connections and it's where we're able to plug in and get the support, at least to start. And so it's because of that thought that they don't need help, that they do need the help, right? Because if nobody knows that the help is necessarily needed there, then nobody goes to try to help. And since we grew up in that community and we knew what the issues were and we knew that no one was helping to address issues, it made sense for us to go back and serve in that place, right? And so like other counties and cities surrounding Williamsburg, people know what type of issues they have and they're okay with serving those issues. Williamsburg has a situation where it has a reputation. It has people that live there and retire there and people come to vacation there, a big tourist spot. And so some of those things that happen there, that happen in other cities, maybe to a lesser extent, don't get talked about or heard about. And since we are kind of implants, we already know what's happening. So that's what we chose to serve first and foremost. But like PJ said, we serve the greater Hampton Roads.
That is awesome. So what are like the kids like that you mentor? Who should be coming to you with their children saying, hey, yeah, let me sign my kid up?
So our football camp, we do it for the younger kids, right? So we do for kids 10, and then really we work with people up to 25, 27, because we work with young adults, returning citizens too, right? And so, and their families. It's important that we don't want to leave the families out because whatever we do with them, whatever knowledge we impart in them, whatever influence we're able to have is for that time that we have them, and they got to go back to their family. So we feel like if you help the family, you help the child by default, right? So if you help better the family and the child at the same time, then the end result ends up being more impactful. So we work with 10-year-old with the football camp. I think our sweet spot is middle school, high school. We do work with college students as well. But growing up in Williamsburg, growing up anywhere, as young Black men, our friends, we had some friends that never stepped foot in high school. And so we know at middle school that you can really get caught in some things that will derail you and maybe put you in that school to prison pipeline. And so getting them at middle school when they're at this stage where they're still young and immature, but they want to act like they want to be adults, and then, they can get in some serious trouble, catching them then is really important. And so we do 10, really focus on high school, really focus on middle school and high school, also really good at college. And then, as mentioned, we work with our returning citizens, and all across that spectrum, we're also touching the families.
Awesome, Renaldo. I think you touched on some great points. So I'm from Virginia, born and raised, but I've only been living in Williamsburg, for a couple years. And I have a 9-year-old son. So, of course, I wasn't aware of everything that goes on in Williamsburg. I just thought, hey, nice, quiet area. and just realizing now there's some other things going on. So I really commend you all. And I look forward to my son becoming of age and knowing that these programs are out there, because I didn't even know. But since I don't know, I'm sure other people don't know. So what kind of community support do you all need to keep these programs going?
Oh, you already know money, right? Money makes things move with a nonprofit. I mean, with every business, but particularly for a nonprofit, right? Because it's a labor of love. Like me and PJ have been doing this for over a decade. You know, a lot of times 100% out of our pocket. And then, you know, everybody wants to be a part of a winning team. So when they saw us moving, the momentum and the consistency, then people wanted to chip in and kind of help, right? And so we could always use helping hands, but in-kind donations, cash donations, check donations, Bitcoin, however you want to get it to us, we'll take it and we'll make sure we take care of your money and it gets used in the right way. So usually it's money, but also resources and connections, right? So PJ mentioned we're trying to, get into some of the schools so the schools are aware of what we have going on, and they feel comfortable with what we're doing so that we can help them help the students kind of in a wraparound services type way. So I would say and I'll let PJ come behind me and give his 2 cents, but I think financially, all nonprofits need that help. Have the finances consistently, not only so you can run the programs, but so you can grow the programs. And then the connections, right? Because you want to touch as many people as possible. And so if you know the right people, they can open up the right doors.
Absolutely. You touched on some great things that, we continuously hear from our nonprofits. So to all our listeners out there, we're about to, take some of the burden out you. We're going to get some contact information so you can find out how to easily help these organizations and how to give back. I mean, this has been a great time talking to y'all, but we definitely need to know your contact information. You mentioned some great events that are going to be coming up this summer and up through the fall. So we really need our listeners to know where to go to find that information.
PJ, you want to get that information? He's the one that gives all the tags and stuff. If he's in a place to do so.
Yes. Our website is RPEOVA.org, and that's RPEOVA.org. And our email, you also can reach myself at Piggott, that's Piggott at RPEOVA.org. And Renaldo is Randall, RANDALL at RPEOVA.org. Also, our social media platform on Facebook is Real People Educating Others. You can find us on that platform. Instagram, you can find us at RPEO 2008. And like I say, and all those platforms, we're definitely one button away. You can read about us. You can see some events and things that we have done, see pictures, and see that we're about action, vision plus action. We're strong believers of that, not just talking about putting in action and putting in work and just really making things happen. And also to piggyback on what Renaldo added with saying money, but really just people just coming together and connecting. I know myself, and I know I talked several times with Tiffany on things that she's doing and just really just networking, putting together events and doing things like that. That's what we're finding out. Collaboration, really just collabing. That's really the strongest things what people need to do, not just be in competition, because at the end of the day, it ain't about us. It's about the youth. It's about the communities. It's about putting people together. So the more of not just funds coming in, but the more people that have ideas or even doing the same things or similar, let's come together and then let us all network together and market together and just make a huge platform, a huge surface, and just make it big. That's the goal. So, yeah.
Love it.
I wanted to say something too real quick because y'all might have missed it. So PJ said vision plus action, heavy on the action though. And so that's what we do that I feel like people appreciate. Like if we say we're going to do something, we put our name on it, we really going to do it. So there ain't too much thinking about it. We'll figure it out on the way to making it a success. So vision plus action, heavy on the action.
Love it. Love it. And we are talking with PJ and Renaldo of Real People Educating Others. Thank you so much for all the tidbits. I am Tiffany Boyle, and you, along with my co-host, Deshana Kemp Garnett, and you are tuned into Emerge on WHOV 88.1. And now we are going to end, guys, even though we could talk about this forever and ever. And I do look forward to tackling someone during football season. And but we're going to end with our signature question, and each of you can take turns. And that is, what does the word emerge mean to you?
I go first.
Go ahead.
Renaldo, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, man. You sound like you on it. I want to hear what you got to say.
Ready.
Yeah. When I hear the word emerge, it just really what comes to mind to me is elevation and moving to the next level of whatever platform of your desire, whether it's a career, whether it's a goal, whether it's a project, whether it's just further your education. Anything is about just really just going for success, and you're emerging, bringing the best out yourself, and bringing things that you didn't know that you could do, or even just believing in yourself and pushing until you actually get what you actually are going for, and just never stopping and never quitting and not giving up. That's the main thing. So emerging for the stars and keeping on reaching them until you accomplish that.
Love that, Pete. So I would say emerge. The first thing that popped in my mind was like somebody coming out of the water after not being able to breathe, like touching the bottom of the pool and pushing off. And when they get to the top and they break the water to the edge, like they emerge, right? That imagery. And I also think about like caterpillars when they go through that metamorphosis process, and then they bust out and they become a butterfly. So I think it's like that continuously breaking through and emerging and showing yourself new. And so people have to recreate themselves, right? So the first time you emerge for the first time, and then you continue to emerge in different areas of your life, and you continue to up level and emerge on higher scale. So I see it as that breaking through, showing yourself as your best self.
I love it. We got vision plus action, and we got going to the bottom of the pool and emerging out of the water. Great. That's the first time I've heard that answer. So I love it. The reason why we love asking that question too, because everybody has a different definition of what the word emerge means to them. And I think it's amazing for that. So thank you again, PJ and Renaldo, for sharing with us and with our listeners about what RPEO does and all the good you guys do for our children, which is who are our future. So we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, Tiffany, I got a question for you. Can I ask the host a question? What's emerge mean to you?
So emerge to me is an everlasting process of self-exploration and self-definition, and just knowing that you can be okay with where you are, but never settle to be stagnant. So yeah, but no, thank you. Thank you for that. Put me on the spot. Oh goodness. All right. Well, we thank you guys so much.
Coming up next, My 2 Cents with me, the Shade of Pimp Garnett.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Someone once said, getting there is half the fun. From downtown to Old Town. Hampton Roads Transit and Go Past 365 connects you to entertainment, restaurants, friends. Go Past 365. Find out more at gopast365.com.
WHOV would like to thank HRT for its support of WHOV programming.
I am Deshana Kemp Garnett, and it's time for My 2 Cents. I'm sure by now you've heard us ask our signature question, what does the word emerge mean to you? We've had a lot of feedback. We've had people write into our website, share on Instagram. So I felt like it was time for me to share my thoughts. There's so many quotes that can go along with what the word emerge means, but I think the quote by Deepak Chopra most closely aligns to what the word emerge means to me. And that quote is, "You are not creating a new you, you are releasing a hidden you." I look at emerge as a process. It's something of self-discovery, and it's the hidden you that wants to emerge in perfect balance. I think emerge is more about the journey than the final destination. Every day is the opportunity for us all to emerge as a new and improved version of ourselves. So that means we need to be making intentional efforts to emerge into the person we want to be. Personally, I focus on emerging as the person who makes better financial decisions day after day. This is something I've been focusing on probably for about the last 5 to 6 years. I desire to be financially disciplined, and I always try to remain true to my intentions. I want everyone who's listening to take the time to think about what the word emerge means to you and think about how it impacts your everyday life. I am Deshana Kemp Garnett, and that's my 2 cents. Let's take a look at some regional and local activities. Ladies Around the Globe is hosting Fab and Fit Ladies Around the Gym on Wednesday, May 18th at 7:30 p.m. at Butch Fitness in Hampton, Virginia. For more information, visit www.ladiesaroundtheglobe.com. The Emerge Awards and Premiere, the must-attend event of the year. Emerge presents a 3-day event all about entrepreneurs, starting Sunday, October 16th through Tuesday, October 18th. For more information about these events, visit www.emergepremiere.com. Thank you to our guests on today's episode. If you missed today's show, visit our website, www.emergethemagazine.com to tune in.